supposed to contain what? Others type of data supposed to contain the value only. What is the speciality of pointer? Now it contains address only. It contains address. What does it mean by the address? Suppose if you are writing int a equals to 5, that means what? Now a is a variable where data type is integer. It is holding the 5. Now holding the value 5, fine, but where they can be stored? Now in the memory. So in the memory where they are getting stored, that may be fixed for a particular run, not throughout the, means every time you open the program, every time it will get the same location. So in somewhere in the memory, this a holding the 5 will get stored. Now that may be anything. You can print and you can check that where it's getting stored. So that is the location. Now, what is the job of a pointer? Now pointer variable, if I consider something as a pointer variable, that can hold the address, that can help us to access that particular location. Means, now, so what does it mean? Pointer is something which can contain the address. Fine. How it look like? Now it look like a normal variable, but supposed to be preceded by a symbol star. So if I am writing int star p, that means p is a variable, not a simple integer variable. P is a pointer variable which will hold the address of one integer. P is a variable which will hold address of an integer. That means if I write now, how it will hold? So the star symbol before the variable name indicates that it is a pointer variable. It is not a normal variable. Means if I write int p, it's a normal variable. But if I want to write the pointer variable, I should mention star here. Okay. So if I now want to store the address of something, now something means what I can store here. Now I can store here address of one integer variable. Here I have one integer variable a. So if I want to store the address, then I will write it as ampersand a. Now, whenever we deal with the pointers, we have two operators. One is star, one is this. This operator, this ampersand operator here is actually called address of operator. And this is basically value at address of. Now, why pointer is so much important? First point, we can directly access the value. Second, if we want to deal with array, if we want to deal with string, if we want to deal with structure, basically with the linked list, the concept of pointer must be clear to us. If that is not clear, we may not able to do the programs properly. Okay. So this is just the starting, that I can declare a variable, then I can assign it in this way. Fine. And these operators are there. If one is pointer variable, take the ampersand and the variable name and it will give you the address. Now, if I want to print, if I print A and if I want to print P. Now, what P is holding? P is holding address of A. Suppose if address of A is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, some memory location, then P is actually containing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I want to print the address, then I can write printf %u. Now, why u? U is for unsigned integer, and it can go for the long range of value because it's ignore the negative part, so it will actually cover the double range as it start from the 0. I have discussed earlier the significance of u and all this thing. And then if you write, it will give you the address, that is suppose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if I want to print the value. If I want to print the value which is present at the address 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then what I need to do? I need to do a little bit modification. No need to turn on the video, because we cannot allow all the people to turn on the video. So in that case, you can use %d and then this star operator. This will give you 5. So this is what P, which is basically the address. So when you are writing *P, that is basically your value at address. Okay. So this is the point. Now, so as of now, I have shown you only integer variable and integer pointer. Now the question is that only integer is there? No. If I want to store integer variable, declare it as this. If I want to store the address of a character variable, then declare it as this. If I want to store address of a floating point variable, then declare it is this. So the type of the star indicates that it's a pointer. But what kind of, means for what kind of value, what kind of address, or means for which type of variable it is going to hold the address, that is specified with the data type. Now, you will see sometimes that there is a void type also. Fine. There exists a void type also. Void means what? It just declared as pointer. As per the requirement, you can assign it to or typecast it to any type. That's allowed. Okay. Now the point is that means what? Whenever I am going to store integer, whenever I am going to store character, whenever I am going to store float, will the address makes any change? Means for the character, is there any speciality in the address? No. Memory locations are always integer and hence they are always whole numbers. So be it a address of an integer variable, be it a address of a floating point variable, be it a address of a character variable, everything is same. Means as a address, everything is same. But what kind of value it is holding, that's a different issue. Now, if I say that they are holding the address of integer, character and float, then suppose a floating point number is actually, what is the size of the floating point number? Normally a 4 byte. So that means if I want to store a number, obviously when the number is getting stored, basically that is binary version and all those things. So the entire 4 byte space is going to be used. Now, so that is 4 consecutive memory location. So what exactly this R will hold? Now R will hold the address of this, the first byte, address of first byte. Similarly, if I go for the integer, that will be of 2 byte. 2 byte means 16 bit. Means if I consider the previous compilers. If it is even 4 byte, that is also okay. But in any case, what happened? It's not holding the entire address. Means it's not holding the entire 4 byte address. Please make it a clear view that it's holding the address does not mean that 4 consecutive block address they are holding. It's holding the starting, which is called the base. Wherever you were storing your data, that float x equals to 3.569 whatever you want to write, where it's getting stored, whatever the representation, the r is not bothered. R will hold. If I write r equals to %x, then it will hold the address of the starting byte. That is the point. If I say that something is being held by something, now you may say that means it will not give me the rest of the, no, it's like a, if I consider a train, it's like an engine. It's always goes with the engine. It just catch hold of the engine so that it can get access of the rest of the thing. Fine. So this is the point. It's not that they are holding means they are holding all the 4 byte, all the 2 byte, all. Now, if I say about character, it's only 1 byte information. So it can hold only this much. Now, so let me unmute you for a while. And if you have any query, then I will try to resolve it. Then I will go that how the pointers are useful when we are dealing with the function. So I'm unmuting you for a while if you have any query, because there are people who are studying maybe the pointer for the first time. So if you have any query, you may ask.
Ma'am, what is float x is equal to 3.569?
Yeah, means whatever the value, it's not important for your pointer. For the 3.569 in the memory, that would be actually represented as a 4 byte information. So whenever the 4 byte information will be there, 4 bytes, so it will store as a consecutive 4 byte locations. So from there, it will just hold the address of the first byte, the starting address. It will hold the address of the first byte only, not the entire thing. Because it cannot hold a collective number. It's not a collection kind of thing that it will hold an entire collection or anything. It can hold a single address, means one single pointer variable can hold only one address, not more than that. So which address it will hold? The starting address. Whether it is 3.569 or 35.69, the float star r, the pointer variable r, is not bothered about that. Anything else? Anything else?
Ma'am, after this float x equals to 2.569 and then you're writing r equals to %x. Ma'am, if I do r plus plus after this, what will happen?
Oh, I will discuss all those things. Don't worry.
Okay, ma'am.
I will discuss that if I do the unnecessary increment of the pointer, where I am applying the pointer, what will happen? I am going by one.
Ma'am, can you please explain this void part?
Oh, void is a space, means if I consider the normal data type, there is no void data type. But in case of pointer, there is a specific type which is called void pointer. As per the requirement, we can typecast it. Means I have declared it as a void pointer and then I can use it as a by typecasting, or I can assign any type with it. That's the significance of void pointer mainly. What happened that if I suppose I am writing one pointer variable, suppose p++, okay, star is this side, and another one if I write it as plus plus star p. Okay. What happens? Now it happen if I do this one, it will increment the pointer. Means it will point to the next location. It's not bothered about the value. But if I do it in this manner, it will increment the value. If you say that means, no, means this is the point. And what are the means? See, normally what we know that star p is a pointer. So it's star p is basically the value. So if I do plus plus, it should increment the value. But no, it will increment. If the expression is like this, it will increment the pointer. Means it will point to the next location. If I do with this format, it will increment the value. Now, what are the operations generally we can do with the pointer variable? Addition. If I want to add some constant, means if I do now some r plus 1, what will happen? Now it will not move to, suppose r is containing the base address of this floating point variable, doesn't mean that it will go to the next second byte position. No, it will move to the location after 4 byte. Why? Now type of the r is 4. So we can do this kind of plus, means arithmetic plus constant with some. If I want to do some minus, means some previous location, yes, that I can do. But can I do some multiplication? No, because the address are not supposed to be multiplied. Can I do any kind of division, either this or this? No, I'm not supposed to do that also. Right? Just apply your common sense that pointer means my address. So if I want to increment, or if I try to move some more positions in the memory, then I can do some addition. Or sometimes if you think that you can do the subtraction, that's allowed. But multiplication, divisions, these are not allowed. Then you may say, can I add both the address? Ideally, we are not supposed to do, because adding the address doesn't make any sense. So we are not supposed to do that. Right? And these are the specialty that you can do this, but you cannot do this. If you do this, this is the effect. If you do this, this is the effect. Clear? These are the special features you can call about the pointer variable. Okay, so I'm not getting any more queries at present. So let me start with the discussion of function. Again, after function, I will stop and I will give you the opportunity. If you have any doubt, you just raise. Fine. See, whenever we have learned about the function in the last class, what we have seen? Now, function supposed to be with the prototype, and we have discussed normal call by value type, and it was like there will be one return type, then function name, then parameter list. It can be void, it can be anything. Now, if I write int function name is suppose fun, And then if I want to write a fun one, suppose, and then I write int a comma int b. Now this is your prototype maybe, and in the prototype, as I have told earlier, that I can skip the variable name also. Means I can write instead of this, I can write it as int comma int. Now, what does it mean if I write either this format or this format? What does it mean? It means that function1 or func1 is a function which can take two integer variables and then it can return a value which is type of integer. Okay. Now, what I have discussed in the last class, that these A and B, when they are being called from the main function or some other function, suppose with the value name x, y or ab, whatever, the A is getting the copy of x and B is getting the copy of y. Just the copy. This AB, whatever I do in the body of function 1, whatever I do, suppose A equals to A plus 2 I am doing, B equals to B minus 3 I am doing. If I do something else and then I try to return int, first of all, I cannot return both the values. Either I can return A or I can return B. So maybe I have decided, no, I will do a summation of A plus B and I will return. I can return. Now you can see that here in the body of the function, I am doing certain changes with the A and B value. But A and B is what? A and B is nothing but X and Y. Now, here if you try to print X, if you try to print Y, what will happen? Will you get any kind of effect that whatever you have done here to this particular X and Y? The answer is no. Now, instead of X and Y, if I use the same name, A and B, will it get any kind of changes? Whatever you have done in the function body, function 1? No, you will not find any changes. Now, this is the thing that we are getting, as the variables that we are using, they are just the copy. This A and B, which are called as a formal argument, do not have any access to X and Y. Do not have any access to X and Y. Okay. So, whatever you are doing, that is local to this function body. Whatever you are doing, that is local to this calling function or main function body. So what is the speciality? If I use, instead of normal variable, if I use the pointer variable, what will be the speciality? Let me discuss that. I hope you can remember that this is the thing that I have discussed even in the last class. I am repeating that if I use the normal variable as actual argument and formal argument, whatever the change I will do in the function body, that will not affect the values that are available in the calling function. That may be main, that may be anything. But how I can do the changes or anything with the in the original value? Now for that you can use the call by reference, or rather means it's written as call by reference, but actually In the C, we do not use any reference variable. So it's called as call by address basically. If we, instead of value, if we do the call by address, there is a chance, or there is not a chance basically, we will get the opportunity to directly manipulate the original value. Now, suppose there is a function swapping. There is a function for swapping. Now, what I want that this swap function should enable us to pass the value with their address. Now, see, if I try to pass a value with the address, what is important? First of all, what kind of data, means for what kind of data address you are going to pass. Suppose I want to deal with the two integer variable. So if I write it as a normally as call by value, if I write this will be sufficient. But if I want to deal with this as a call by address, I should mention this star here. Now, whether you will mention one variable name after the star or not, that is your choice. But if you do not put the star here, in the rest of the program, if you want to send the address, you won't be able to do that. Now, so from the main function, this is the prototype declaration, the first line. From the main function, suppose int a equals to 2, b equals to 5, and then you are calling the function swap. Now, here I have given the star. So what I need to give here, ampersand a, ampersand b. See, if it is not with the star, I can direct write a and b. But as it is associated with star, I need to write ampersand a, ampersand b. Okay. Now, printf percent d a comma b. And as it's a void, so no return type is required. So in the somewhere in the swap function, what you can do, you have sent some address. So to hold the address, what is required? To hold the address, we need pointer variable. What is the type as declared in the prototype? So that is void. See what happened? Here you are indicating that you are going to use call by address. Here you are sending during the calling of the function, you are sending actually the address of the variable instead of value. Here what you are doing, x is containing the same thing, x is containing the value of a. But what is x? What is a? A is basically address. So which kind of variable must be used here? A pointer type of variable, same as the b. And then as you want to swap, you can take one variable. Suppose temp is the variable. Okay. Now, I can use the temp to change the value. Now, if I write temp equals to x, what will happen? Now, temp will get the address of the x. Means one address, not address of the x. If I assign temp equals to x, simply if I write temp equals to x, it will get what? It will get some address. What address? The address of a. But that's not my requirement. My requirement is the value. So write temp equals to star x. Okay. Next, what should I do? Now I am holding the address value of A to some variable. So you can give value of B to A now. So you can write here, see, star x. See, here you have declared x as your pointer variable. So whenever you are accessing it, trying to access it, you need to use this operator, value at address operator. Otherwise, things will be, I cannot assign one address to another. One address to another means no meaning. I cannot exchange the memory addresses. I'm not supposed to do, and if I think logically, it's not supposed to be done. And then 10. And see, the return type is void. Here is no printf statement. But when you do the printing of this statement, you will get the address. Yes, things are getting changed. See, I didn't have used here any return statement. Even if I get the opportunity to use the return statement, I can return only one value, either X or Y. I cannot return both. But as I have used the call by address format, automatically both the things are getting updated. This is the facility if I use call by address properly. Now, this is the thing that I have discussed. That is basically what? That is basically that's a pending part of the function module, function chapter, that we have shown that things are basically passing the call by value. With this approach, we can change it as call by address also. And if I do call by address, even if I do not return the value, if I do any changes in the argument, means that are being passed, whatever the changes I am doing in the function body, that will be reflected in the original value, as we are dealing with the original address, that is the location, and in that location we can get that particular value. Okay. Now, this is if I pass it, if I want to return, means if I say that function returning, is it possible? Function can return integer, function can return float, function can return void. Everything is possible. So is it possible that function can return the, what I can say, function can return some pointer value? If I think that function will return a pointer, then it will be look like. If I say that how the prototype will look like, that is, now you may say, here you didn't have written parameter, that means no, parameter list can be void, it can be anything. I'm just mentioning it that if I think that this function will return something, it will return. Previously, when I am writing it as int this, it means it will return the integer value. But when I am writing this, it means it will return. This function will return one integer pointer. So how I can write the body of this kind of function? See, all these will be required whenever you are dealing with long programs of array or basically the linked list, because linked list is such a thing generally we do that only with the C, not with other languages generally. Now, what should I write in the return statement? If I want to return or not the value of this, then the return. If I write I, it will return the value. But what is requirement? Requirement is that return the address. So ampersand R. So these are the different format. If you want to do, if you can proceed with this way. Now there are some different situations that till now I have shown you what. Now either you can use call by value or call by reference. Can I do a mix? Can I do a mix? Means suppose I want to suppose one function is ABC, return type may be a void, one is int and another is int pointer. Can I do this? Yes, I can do this. It's not really any problem. The moment I go for the second parameter, I should mention its address. What is the specialty of this? You will get to know or you get the ample use of when we will discuss the string. This is a null character. Whenever we are dealing with this kind of pointer, we will get different null. This is null character. And this is null. It's a map which is there as a value of 0. Where it is in file, normal standard in the calculator file, the null is defined there. Okay. So these are the specialty of non-normal pointer variable. Now I'm just writing here to fragment it code with me and I will ask you that what can be the answer for the thing. Let me just simple few things. So if I write here this, consider the function prototype is already there. See, whatever I am writing, it may create output, it may create error. So it's your job to tell me that whether it will create the output. If output, then what will be the output? If error, then what will be the error? So this is one question. Next, let me give you with some null. This is your question number 2. If I do this, call ij, and suppose I'm giving here some pointer variable pq, p equals to ampersand I, q equals to ampersand j, and if you do something more, that is I is greater than equals to 45, return p, else return q. Fine. I'm just giving you these three. And you just tell me that what will be the answer of each of them. So just think for, I think you have already thought of the answers. So I'm just giving you the unmute option. You can give your answer to me. Don't write in the chat. If you want to say something, you can say. You can give your answer. Means you can say your answer. What will be the answer for A 1, 2, and 3? What will be the answer for 1, 2, 3?
And for 1, I equal to -5 and j equal to 4.
Acha. Means what whoever is giving the answer, I hope you are not running it, because if you run it, there is no meaning. What will be the answer for 2 and 3? First of all, the thing is that whether the 2 and 3 will run or not. That is important. That whether they will run or they will throw some error.
Ma'am, hello.
Yes, yes, I'm here. You
Yes,
can.
ma'am. I'm saying that for 1 it can be -5 and 4, and for 2 it will be 5.
Acha, 5. What will be for 3?
And for 3, there will be some error
Why the error will be there?
because it will return in the main function int c is a integer pointer, and in the function it is returning a integer, not a pointer.
Acha.
Ma'am, because
You are not audible properly. I think there is a problem from your side. You are not audible properly. You are not audible properly. Hello. Okay, so for the first one, I got the answer from two students, -5 and 4. So the reason is I is passed as a normal variable, j is with the address. So whatever the changes we are doing with the I value, that's not getting reflected in this particular printf statement, because that reflection is confined within the function ABC. What about the next one? Now j is passed by its address. So whatever the changes, whatever the calculation we are doing, whatever the calculations we are doing, we are getting that address, means that value reflected here. So j is -2 multiplied by -2 makes the 4. So you are getting the 4 as the output. For the 2, as I have just told few minutes back, that null means it's basically 0. So b plus null is nothing but b plus 0. So A is getting the value of B directly, that is the 5. And for the third one, here the return type of the function and the type of the variable where it's getting stored, and not only means it's not required that what it's returning. Its return type is integer, it is holding the address. It is returning the address, it's contain the return type as integer. So obviously it will create a problem, because I have defined the function return type as integer, but I'm returning as one address. So obviously it's not sufficient. I need to maintain, if I want to return the address, I need to maintain the thing each and everywhere. Okay. So this is about the simple pointer concept. Next, oh, explain question 1, J portion. Yes, I'm telling. See, in the function ABC, what we have done, now we have called the function with I and ampersand J. So that means I am passing the value of I, but for the J, I am passing the address. As I am passing the address, so whatever the modification I do in the body of the ABC function, that will get reflected in the original J variable. Because here, although I am using the same name I in the calling function and in the called function, but this I is basically copy of this I. This I cannot access the original location of this I. But the J, as it is passing the address, so it's getting the access to its original location. So whatever I do modification with the I and J value, I can do the modification independently. But whatever the modification I do with I, that is not going to be reflected outside the ABC function. But for J, whatever the modification I am doing, that is getting reflected outside the ABC function, as I am doing it, the changes in its original location. That is why. Is it clear? Those who are asking. Okay, fine.
Ma'am, what will be the output of I then?
No, output will be for I, whatever the original value,
-5.
-5, yes.
Okay.
So question 3, I'm just going by one. For question 3, what we will do? For question 3, my declared variable is integer. My C is declared as integer pointer. I am calling the call function, which is in the prototype, or you can say whenever I am declared its return type, I am declared the return type as integer. But I am actually trying to return the integer pointer. See, I am returning P or Q, which are nothing but the integer pointer, which are nothing but the integer pointer. So if I do integer pointer, what will happen? I have declared it that it will return the integer, but I'm trying to send the integer pointer. Definitely there will be one mismatch and it cannot work. So error will be reported. Error will be reported. So this is about your that is if, see, whenever we deal with, it's not about only pointer. Whenever we deal with any kind of function, if the prototype is not matching with the called function, it will create the problem. If the prototype is not matching with the rest part, then also it will create problem. Means every time whatever you have declared in the prototype, if you are using the prototype, then it should match all its data type in rest of, means throughout the program. Throughout the program means what? Now throughout the program means that you should mention it properly. If you have mentioned something as normal integer, it should be normal integer. If you didn't have mentioned it as normal integer, if you have declared it as a pointer, then it should give you the idea that yes, everything must be pointer. Whatever you have mentioned in the prototype, or if I say, if I skip the prototype, if I write only the function definition line, then also it thinks that in the function definition line also what I need to do, now I need to mention that whether I can give it proper justification. Means in the function definition first line, I am mentioning the return type. So what I am returning, that should match with the fact. Fine. So if I want to do return actually the address, I should use it properly. I should use properly. Properly means I should mention it that each and everything, means instead of int, I should write in that case it as a int star. It as a int star. Then only it would be feasible to write return p, and at that main function, if I write it as a pointer c, then only it would be feasible. Otherwise it will not be feasible. Otherwise it will not be feasible. Okay. And another student who has asked me that instead of b by b plus null, if I do it b by null, obviously it will create a warning error, that kind of thing, because it's a zero, it's a division by zero problem, so it's not supposed to be done. It will create the problem. I'm doing the addition, so it's not creating problem. But if I want to do something else, obviously whatever is not legal, it's not legal throughout the program. Okay. So can I proceed? Okay, I'm not getting any more queries. So proceeding to that, but before that I will just request that just for your practice do any program with this pointer passing, maybe the swapping one. I have shown you the swapping using third variable. You just do it maybe without using third variable but using the pointer. Take a 5 minute of time and just do that, because otherwise what happened that sometimes we ignore the errors that we are getting. You can try to do that. Just take a 5 minutes of time and do that. Then I will move to the array part. Fine. Just do that for once. I value is getting multiplied. Who told you that I value is not getting multiplied? I value is getting multiplied, but whenever you are printing the you are printing the value of I and j in the main function, that is the calling function, not in the ABC function. So you are not getting the updated value of I, as I is not being passed with its address, it's being passed with its value only. I and j both are getting multiplied, but you are not able to see the result as you are doing the printing statement in the main function. Fine. So you just do the swapping without using third variable and using the pointer. Just do it within the 5 minutes and just check whether, means you don't need to show me anything. You just check whether you are getting the essence of this pointer and function and all or not. Then only we will move to the array. Then we will move to the explanation of array. Fine. Just take the 5 minutes of time and do that. Oh, before that, obviously, I will discuss little bit about pointer chaining. But before that, you just take a try with your normal array function.
Recording stopped.
Do it for 5 minutes. I think it will take only 5 minutes. Then we will discuss just 2-3 minutes about the pointer chaining, and then we'll discuss about. Then we'll move to the array. If I discuss only one-dimensional array, then I can go to the string. Let me see what I can do. But first, you just try with that swap one. You just do that.
Recording in progress.
I hope everybody has completed that, given enough time for doing that. So I hope you have completed already. If you are not doing, obviously, either you are very much confident or you are lazy enough. So now, before going to the array, I'll discuss a little bit about the pointer chaining, because those who are not very much acquainted with this pointer and all, I have shown you a single pointer variable declaration, and you may think that that is sacrosanct, nothing other thing supposed to be there. So let me discuss first that one. So what I can do? Pointer chaining is nothing but one pointer is holding the address of another pointer. Pointer chaining is what? One pointer variable is holding the address of another pointer. See, as of now, we have seen star. And it means that P is a pointer variable which is going to hold the address of one integer variable. What is the meaning of this? This meaning is that Q is a pointer variable which is going to hold the address of another integer pointer variable. Let me repeat the line once again. What is Q? And before the Q, as I have mentioned, as I have given 2 star, what does it mean? It means that Q is a pointer variable which is going to hold the address of another integer pointer variable. Okay. Is it limited only with 2? The answer is no. It can be any. So what does it mean? R is a pointer variable which is basically going to hold the address of one pointer variable, which is again actually holding the address of another pointer variable. So based on this, this is a simple pointer variable. This is called pointer to pointer variable. This is called pointer to pointer to pointer variable. That kind of, the more star you give, the more deeper you are moving. So that means if I have one int a equals to 5, p equals to ampersand a, then a address is getting stored into the p and star p will give you the value. Now for q, what I am supposed to assign? Supposed to assign star p, because q is a pointer variable which is going to hold the address of another pointer variable. What is r? I should write star q. Now how things are being evaluated? Say there is a memory location 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 is getting stored here and the location name is A. Okay. Now, when I'm writing P equals to ampersand A, basically P is getting the address of 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, that means 1, 2, 3, 4 is become the value. P is the memory location name, and maybe this is your 6554. This is the memory location of P. Okay. So when I'm writing Q equals to star P, what will be the content of Q? Na 6554. Again, in the memory, somewhere 6554 is the value. Q is the memory name, and suppose it is 1111. That is the memory location. And when I am writing R, means when I am doing Q equals to, sorry, R equals to ampersand Q, then what I am doing? Now I am writing here 1111. Name it as R, and it's some location, suppose 2424, whatever. Fine. So now, if I want to print the value of 5 using a printf statement, what are the options are there? If I want to print it using the single level address, so if I write star P, then what is the content of P? Now 1, 2, 3, 4. Value at address 1, 2, 3, 4. Value at address 1, 2, 3, 4. Now 5. So this is a single level. If I want to print the value 5 with the help of Q, then what should I write? If I write only Q, Q is the variable, this is value at address. Okay. So what is the value at the address of Q? What is value at the address of Q? Now 6554. That means if I go for value at the address 6554, it will give me the address of 1234. That is the address of P. It will not give me the value 5. So I should use double star key if I want to print the 5. So I can print the 5 either using simple A or star P or double star Q, and in the similar, if just go by the hierarchy of previous address, means if I give is first with the 6554, it will move here, then from here it will go here with the double star. Similarly for the R, it should be this, because for the R, the moment you will write star R, it will give you what value at the address of R. What is the value? Now 1111. Actually, what is 1111? Now, if you say no, I will not give extra star, then you will get all the address, not the value. If you want to reach up to this, you have to use this many star. But if you don't want to give, means if you have decided that you will give only single one, then you will get all the individual address only. Okay. So this is that storing the address to another variable, again storing the address of that variable to somewhere else. These are actually the concept of pointer chain. Why I'm discussing this? One, if we were getting asked, don't know, because during the bulk recruitment interview or any kind of interview, any kind of question can be asked. And second is, these are not something coming from different planet. These are within this language and very common. There is no limitation in the star. So if this kind of question is given, you need to just make a rough work to check what exactly is going on. Okay. So let me again give you the unmute option. If you have any query, you may ask, or otherwise we can move to array. If you have any query or confusion, then you may ask, or I can go to the array. So as I'm not
Ma'am,
getting,
can you repeat the last one, R1, that R star?
R is holding, suppose the ampersand Q, that means it is holding the address of Q. So if I write only R, if I write only r, then what is the value of r? Now r is of itself, means if I go for the r, it's a normal variable pointer, it's okay, but what address it is, means value at the address of r. If I go with the r, first thing that it will get, now this is your r is actually containing the 1111. So star 1111 means whatever the content of 1111, that's supposed to get printed. So content of 1111 is 6554. But if I go with this single star, it's not giving us the original value. So from there with single star, I am getting this one. So with double star, I can reach up to this level. So with triple star, I can reach here. It's step by step. You need to evaluate each of the thing, means the variable name, and along with whatever the operator is there, be it ampersand operator, be it your star operator, means value at address operator, or address of operator, whatever is given, you just go forward with that. Basically, you need to do a backward movement. Then wherever you will stop, that is your answer.
Ma'am, here if we write another, we are taking another variable b, which is equal to star p. So the p will get the value of that address, I think, means 5. So, but if we write instead of that p, if we write b equals to start some value 1, 2, 3, 4. So will it give me 5 or it will give me error?
I'm not getting your question
Ma'am,
properly.
ma'am, here we are writing b equals to star p. So this means b will get the value of 5.
B will get the value of 5.
Ma'am, what if we write just b equals to star 1, 2, 3, 4? So this will give error, I think, because it doesn't know if it is address or something in that type. So it will just give error.
The point is that value at address and all these thing means whether 1, 2, 3, 4 address or not, that's not known, na?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
It's not known. Means where things are getting stored, if you, unless until you are printing the address separately, you don't know where a random variable is getting stored.
Ma'am, so this will give an error.
Error or garbage value means I cannot say that it will give the error, because ethically it's, if it is star operator and it is a value at address, if it is a proper address, it can give you something. It can.
And if it is not?
If it is not, then it will not give you anything. I think so, that it should not give you any proper justification.
Ma'am, so the statement is valid. B equals to star 1, 2, 3, 4.
You can write, but actually if I go for the pointer manipulations, these kind of things are actually not happen. If I go for the normal pointer manipulation, this kind of things generally not happens.
Okay, ma'am.
Means unless, actually if I go for the address of some variable, unless until I know the value, I cannot actually do anything with this star operator. Means if you just write a program, a simple, very simple program with one normal variable and with one pointer variable and all, if you do not store them properly, you cannot get a proper answer. If you store them properly, then only you will get the answer. And randomly 1, 2, 3, 4 means what does it mean? If I give anything that suppose and what you are wanting, that b is a normal variable or pointer variable?
Ma'am, b is normal integer variable.
And if B is a pointer variable, then
Ma'am, then I think it should store the address.
but
Just
it
like
will not store the address. If I give value at address operator, it will not store the address. Means if you want that, yes, you will give something, means before I give proper information, I don't think that it will give us proper answer. Because unless until I know, suppose if you are writing a program with, if you are writing a program where you have taken fast one, stop echoing, na? Stop echoing. You may take a single variable, means just for your experiment purpose, I'm telling, you take a normal integer variable, you take a pointer variable, assign the address of that particular variable, and you will get, definitely will get some answer. Fine. So if you do that, then whatever the address you are getting, if you want, you may try to use that one. If you want, you may use that particular thing later and check whether that, but there is a problem what, that every time you run the program, see, first time whenever you are running the program, then suppose the location is 1 2 3 4, but the same program you are running next time, do you think that it will be get stored in the same position? Do you think so?
ma'am, it might be, ma'am. There's very less possibility.
But the now let me complete the thing. See, if I directly give this star, first of all, what will happen? It's a value at address. But if I give a normal 1 2 3 4 or even the address which is generated earlier, I cannot give it. So if I do this kind of thing, it will not give me anything. There is a high chance that if it is a normal integer variable and I'm giving star in the bracket 1 2 3 4 or whatever the address you are getting, even in the previous execution, it will give you the error. It will give you error. It will not give you any kind of warning kind of thing. It will give you error. I'm continuously asking you various things and all those things, because that whether you are getting the essence of this or not, that even if I have one integer variable a, or here, yeah, here it is as 5 and all, and now I am getting some value at p as ampersand a, and I'm storing it somewhere else, and after some time I'm, even if I write that one variable x equals to star, and in the variable whatever the previous value that I got, it will not give me our result. It will error cause value at address. It's going for an address. An address supposed to be stored in the variable. Suddenly it's not giving you any kind of value, means any kind of proper result. It actually, it's kind of invalid statement. It's a kind of invalid statement. Because if I use the star with a number, it's expected that it becomes, it look like a binary thing, binary operator thing, but it will not look like that. It will not look like that, and it will create error. I cannot use it randomly with any value, be it even an address in the previous execution, but at present you cannot use even that address, because even it's a original address, execution by execution, it may change. So you cannot use that. But if you want that you will use ampersand a, that is okay. That is okay. Means if I want to use For example, instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, if I want to write star and in the bracket the A means B equals to star and then A, then it would not create any kind of problem. Is it clear to you that I can use the variable with the star? If I use normally the star, it expects that it is a multiplication. But suddenly I use one star and then I use in the bracket something else, it will not find any meaning. Is it clear to you now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Now we will start with array. Now, whatever the programming language you are dealing with, in almost all languages, you are finding this kind of list kind of data. Sometimes you will find that they are very similar to your normal array concept. And sometimes you will find there are various variations. Now in C, array is very important because before the array, whenever we are going to store some values to the memory or anything, one variable can hold one single value. But if I need to store similar type of value, so similar or homogeneous. Homogeneous type means same data type value. Suppose height of all the students, or rather I want to know average height of your class. So I need height of all the students and I need to store it. Where? Now I need to store it in A1, A2, A3, all these variables. So instead of using or reusing or repeating same type of variable again and again, we use array. We use array. What is the speciality? Now one array is comprises of first of all homogeneous data type and second contiguous memory location. Now, what does it mean by the term contiguous? Now, contiguous means there will be no gap. Contiguous means there will be no gap in the memory. Means whenever you are going to store 5 elements or 50 elements, those will be, suppose if it is starting from this location, it will be at a stretch. It will not be part here, then some part here, then some part. Now, with the dynamic memory allocation, even this kind of things are possible, but the user or the programmer need not to bother about that. They will make a link. They will make a link. Explicitly, the user or the programmer need not to bother. So array means it's contiguous memory location and going to hold the homogeneous data type. Whenever we require similar type of data types to be dealt with, we need this. Now, how things are being declared? Is there any special data type named as array? No, nothing like that. We generally define it as data type, array name, and size. Okay. What will be the index positions? The index positions are 0 to size minus 1. What is index? Just a minute. Just a minute. So index means what? I'm talking about that it will be stored in a contiguous memory location. So if it is starting with 1024, it will continue, suppose 1030, if this kind of things. Then as per the data type, this entire size will be divided into multiple blocks. Means if it is say if it is a character, then 1024 1, 1025 another location, 1026 another location, and so on. So if I say that which one is the 0th index element, now 0 is referring to the starting element, 1 is referring to the second element, and this way it will go up to size minus 1. This is the thing that means that is the very basic thing about the array. Now, what are the ways we can do the assignment to the array variable? We can do the assignment of or initialization to the array by various ways. One is static way. You just write it and see if I want to declare a variable and do the assignment at the beginning, you can write it in this way. If you write this is also okay. So either you can go with this or with this if you want to do the assignment. But if you want to declare, then it must be declared with its size. Now, this particular thing you can directly write the integer, or if you want, you can use what? Or you can use the macro at this point. Generally, we do not use variable here, but yes, in some of the compilers which are available today, you will get that even if you give variable and you are taking the address of the variable, it's not creating the problem. But basically, this size has to be, the array size has to be a constant. There it's called the dimension, and dimension has to be, before you using the array, its type and the size must be declared. Means generally what happened that we see that you have declared the array with this blank, and obviously the program that you are trying to do, it's not working. And this is the way if you try to assign the array at the beginning. If you want to assign it during the runtime, then you know that what may be the size of your array. Suppose 5 is your size. So what you will do? Now you will start. You need to store the variable in the location of 0 to 5 minus 1. That is 4. So you need to store the element 0 to 4. So what you can do? Now, whenever you need a continuous movement, you may take the help of loop. So for I equals to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus. I know that 99% of you are very much confident about all these things, but I should say all these things because there may be someone who has skipped all these things earlier. So I'm telling all these things, although some of you are getting bored maybe, but still I need to tell. That's why I'm telling. So if I want to initialize the array from taking the value from the user, then yeah, you can use the printf. Sorry. You can ask for number and then you can take scanf%d ampersand. Now, what is the array name? Now, array name is num. In the bracket, now for whom you are taking the value? For each of the position. So I is going to get the value 0 to 4. So the first value that you will get, that is for num 0. Second value that you will get, that is for num 1, and so on. So according this way you will get up to num 4. And if you want to print the array, the same thing, only this ampersand will not be there, otherwise use the loop and directly use %d and num I. So this is the way you can print or access. Even if you want to do the accessing of the array, you can get this kind of thing. Now the point is, you will face different programs where you need to do some kind of shifting operations. This is the way that you can get the input and output. Now, there will be some situation. Suppose you need to delete some variable from the array. So what are the things we are supposed to do with the array? Now we can insert the element. We can delete the element. Now the point is that how we can do this insertion or deletion. Now if it is an empty array, I'm inserting it using the for loop, it's okay. But if it is not, then what you need to do? Suppose there is one array. Suppose there is one array, the index positions are 0 to 6, that means 7 elements are there. You want to insert, means there is already one created array and you want to add some new element. Now the question is, where? You want to insert, but where? You want to delete, but where? So first the thing that you need to know, what is the position. So if you go with the position, suppose you are getting the information that at the position of 3, user want to enter one new value. Okay, fine. Suppose these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Suppose user want to position 3 and value 9. Now, how I can move? You may say, okay, don't worry. Let's go to the position number 3. So position number 3 means value 4. So you will go there and you just insert 9. Okay. I will go I equals to 0, 1, 2, 3. Once it is equals to 3, I will give the 9. What will happen? Only the 4 will be replaced by 9. But that's not your requirement. I'm asking you insert a new value. That means the array will be incremented by one size. So if I suddenly give this, it can replace this one, but it will not increment the array size. So it's not actually insertion. This is not the way. How you can do? The portion where you want to insert, that means 9 will be your next third position, and rest of the element will need to be shifted rightwards. That means the number which is now in 6th position, that must be coming to the end, that is 7th position. Whatever is in your 5th position, that should come here. Whatever is in your 5th position, that should come here. Whatever is in your 4th position, that should come here. Sorry, means 3rd position. Means from this location, things will be shifted one position. See, initially 4 is in the 3rd position, 3rd index position, but now it is in 4. Because now you will get a space here, the location number 3, and then only you can insert the element. So if I want to insert the element at any position of a already created array, then I need to do this. But for the first time, it's not. For the first time, it's a normal for loop and you can insert the element. Okay. So you need to shift all these elements first, then make a space, then insert. What about the deletion? For the deletion, again, you need to find the space. Suppose you want to delete this 4, again the 4. So if I delete the 4, will it be 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 and there will be a vacant space? No, that is not legal. So what would be done? 5 must be here, 6 must be here, 7 must be here. So things will be shifted in opposite directions. Okay. So you need to find every time the location. For deletion, you no need the value normally, but if you have the program in some other way, that deletion, this kind of values, duplicate values or anything, then what you need to do? You need to do this. So for insertion, things will be shifted towards the right. For deletion, it should be shifted towards the left. For insertion, generally we start from the backward direction until the position we come and shift everything to the rightward. For deletion, we do completely opposite thing. That we come to this part and then, means if it is a of I, this a of I will be equals to a of I plus 1. We do the reverse thing. Okay. So this is a very basic operations, and if you go for simple program, means that come in the bulk recruitment, they involves different type of pattern or arrangement of the things or anything, then it may be required that you need to use this insertion and deletion concept. So I request that take another 5 or 6 minutes to complete, to check whether you are able to take the input in the array. Then you can insert element as per the user choice at any position and delete the elements as per any position. Now, here one thing I must mention, that if I take a fixed array of size 5, it may create the problem. So you may take an arbitrary bigger size array so that whenever I perform some insertion and things are getting elongated little bit, that should not create problem. That means what I need to do, means those who are doing this kind of program, maybe first time or maybe you have done earlier but not with the proper focus. So how you are supposed to do the thing? Now you are supposed to start with the suppose 50 size, but within the loop, within the for loop, you go to some x amount and you just fill up 0 to x minus 1, and then whenever you are taking the new element and when you are going for the printing of that particular array, go up to x plus 1. So this is the thing that you can do. So take again 5 minutes to complete this insertion, 5 minutes or maybe 10 minutes. Yeah, take 10 minutes to complete this insertion and deletion. Then we can go with the array and the pointer manipulation. Just do it. You need to understand the concept. You need to just need to perform shift operation. For insertion, shifting towards right. For deletion, shifting towards left, and check whether you can do it or not. Just do it. I didn't explain dynamic array. I will explain. Just wait. You just take the static one now, then complete. I will tell the dynamic array. Don't worry. I will tell each and everything. You just check whether you can do insertion and deletion properly or not.
Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
Well, I hope you have already completed that one. So the insertion, deletion, if you are not doing, if you are confident, it's okay. If you are not confident, you may face the problem when you need to apply that. So the next thing that we will do, how to pass the arrays to the function. But before that, we'll discuss that how this array and pointers, these are related to each other. These are related to each other, that we will discuss. Array and pointers. Fine. So far what we have seen, that you can write this way: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 elements are there. Now, if I want to access any of the element, what I can write? Now, array name, and in the third bracket, its index position. Its index position. So if I write a of 1, that is nothing but the value which is available at position 1, means index position 1. So it will give you 2. If I try to print a of 1, it will give us the value a of 2, means a of 1, which is basically 2. Okay. Now, if I want to do the same thing with the pointer, let us understand that first, that what kind of pointer is required. If I want to access one array using the pointer, first thing that I need to check, what is the type of data the array is holding and which is int. So if I want to access this array, I need one integer pointer. Okay. Fine. Now, array is a chunk of memory. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it is as a whole 20 byte contiguous memory. How much the P can hold? Only the first byte address. So P will contain the base address. How you can assign it? Just by mentioning the array name, you can sorry, you can give the base address to the variable. Base address to the pointer variable. Okay. Now, if I want to access these elements, how I can access? If I write P plus 1, what does it mean? Suppose your address is starting with 1024. So P is holding 1024. So if I perform P plus 1, this will be 1024 plus 1. And with your normal arithmetic calculation, you can conclude now this will be 1025. But is it correct? No. Then why it is not correct? It's 1024 and there is the plus 1. It's not correct because this 1 actually 1 unit of data type. That means if I think that for this system, the integers are taking 4 byte space. So first one is 1024. Second byte is starting from 1028. And second number is from 1028. Third is from 1032. So this way things will go on. So the base address, the first byte means what? That is basically holding the address of first element. So P plus 1 will go for the first element because it's one, it's not a simple one. It's indicate that, okay, proceed with one unit of the data type. As the data type is integer and that is for, suppose this system is a 4 byte, so it will go to the next location. Now, P plus 1 will not give you the value 2. It's just moved to the location. So, if I write P plus 1, then only it will give you the value 2. So, that means what? If I write A of 1, if I write star A plus 1, or if I write star P plus 1, where P is holding the address of the first element, all these things are same. All these things are same. Okay. So this is how pointer is interacting with your array. This is how your pointer is interacting with the array. Now, if I say that find the address of a specific element in the array, how we can find that? Now, we can find that by knowing the base address plus the particular position number for which you want to know, multiplied by size of the data type. Okay. This way you can get the idea that how you can calculate even address of some specific element. Now the next thing is that these are the procedure by which I can, one is if I do the assignment during declaration. Another one is when I start the program, before that I have fixed the size of the array and I am taking the input from the user within the array. But if I don't want to mention any specific size, how I can proceed? Now I can take a pointer variable and then using dynamic memory allocation functions. What are the dynamic memory allocation functions? Malloc, calloc, realloc, free. Malloc, calloc, these two functions are used for memory allocations. If I go for the realloc, that is basically reallocating the existing array. Free is making the memory free, means deallocating the memory. We generally use the malloc mainly because it has some extra facility. Now, what facility? First of all, if I want to know that what is the difference or speciality? Yes, malloc, some of you who have studied earlier and reminded as a rhymes that malloc is taking single parameter, calloc is taking 2 parameter, malloc initialized with garbage value, calloc initialized with 0 and all. These are the difference supposed to be sang in the first year, but the main thing or main facility, array demands the contiguous allocation. But in your system memory, all the time that is may not be possible. So if that is not possible, then what they do? If that is not possible, then malloc will allocate as much as contiguous allocation is possible. After that, internally, it will search for the next amount of space where the next amount can be stored. Being a programmer or being a user, you no need to worry about that. You no need to worry. You just know you have used the malloc function, use it, and it will allocate the space. If even in the anywhere in the memory the space is available, you will get that. What about the calloc? Calloc will not do that. Calloc is always responsible for contiguous allocation only. Fine. So if I want to use this P as array, what should I write? See, this calloc and malloc both actually return void pointer. So you have to typecast it as per your requirement. For this one, my requirement is this int star. Then you can write malloc n into size of n is here number of elements that you require. Now how many required? Obviously you take the input for n first, that for how many elements you want, and then you can do. So what P is doing is P is making it array directly? No. One chunk of memory of n bytes means n into something, that is your total. So whatever the thing, n into that integer, whatever. So some n number, one chunk of memory is being assigned, and starting address that is getting stored in the P is nothing but a pointer variable which is holding the address of a starting address of a chunk of memory. So how I can access it? If I want to access the address, this will be P plus I. If I want to access the value at some specific location, this will be star of P plus I. So this way you can use. This way you can use the pointer variable with the array. Fine. Now if I want to pass, that is the thing that I was trying to discuss, that is if I want to passing the array. What I can do. So as of now, what we have seen, typecasting y int star, malloc is returning what? Address. So why I can, so it's actually returning void pointer, and malloc is returning the address basically. So you cannot use simple int. If it is a float, it has to be float star. If it is this, what I can say, no, malloc is also doing the contiguous allocation. Array means contiguous allocation. Malloc has the extra facility that even if the space is not available, still it can manage. You no need to bother about that. It will behave like a contiguous allocation. Internally, it will manage everything. But that's why there is a less chance of returning null. But if I go for the calloc, it may return null anytime whenever you will not get the space to allocate. I'm not understanding this one. Typecasting, why in star, not in, that I have already told you that malloc, first of all, returning the address. That's why its type means it's an inbuilt function. So it's already, yeah, I'm explaining the star p plus 1. It's already your void pointer. As I am going to use it as an integer array, so I am assigning the address returned by the malloc in an integer variable, so I am make it int star. There is no question of making it as a only int, because it's not value. It's malloc is always returning address. Either address, or if some failure occurs, it's not able to allocate, then it will return as the null. Okay, it will return as the null if it is unable to allocate. Means like in calloc, if a space is not available, it may return as the null. NULL, null. And what about the star p plus 1? Yes, I am again explaining as per the request. If I think this is my array name is A. So A is pointing to the first location. Now, whether I am using one extra variable or whether I am not using any extra variable, if I am using any extra variable, say one int star p and p equals to A, then I am getting the base address. A is also giving the base address. So writing A of 1 actually means star of A plus 1. A of 1 is giving you value at the address this. A is the base address, means A of 1 means value at the index position 1. Normally this, if I write it in the separate other way, if I put this star, this means value at the address. So if I write A plus 1, A is my base address. So what is the significance of plus 1? Now plus 1 indicate it will increment the pointer to the next location. How you can determine what will be the next location? That depends on the type of the data. Means whether it is integer, whether it is character, whether it is float, blah and blah. So nowadays for all the compilers, integers are having 4 bytes. So if I go with this, A is the base address, it will be added by 4, not by 1. This 1 is not 1 actually. This is indicating 1 unit. Similarly, if I want to do A3, that is actually similar to A plus 3. Now, as I have assigned A to the P, so writing P plus 1 or star P plus 3. All these, this, they are same. This, these are same. You just need to understand that how the pointer addition and everything is being done. If you get the essence of that, you will get to understand, yes, this way you can do. Fine, is it clear to you, the person who has asked me? Is it clear to you? Okay, fine. Thank you. Now, how I can pass the array? Till now, whatever function and everything we have studied, that is based on what? That is based on the fact that I can pass it using the value, using the address and all. Now for the array, what we can do? Suppose there is one array. And then I have decided I will pass the values. So passing the values means individually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the values may get changed. So do it in this way: I equals to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus. And then suppose the function name is function 1 and you are writing it as here. So that means I have one array. I'm using a loop to call the function to pass the value at a time. Now you may say, okay, do one thing, pass more than one value. How it will? If I write A1, A2, A3, A4, 5, no, it's not going to give me any benefit. If I'm writing I equals to 0 and then passing the A of I, again, it's not giving me any benefit. So that means this approach is not good. I'm not telling whether it is right or wrong. I'm just telling it's not good. Okay. Now you may say, okay, then do it by address. No, do it by address. The loop is there and then this. But again, the problem persists that I need to call the function again and again as per the loop. No, it is also not good. So what is good? You need to pass the base address. You need to pass the base address. As simple as that. How you can pass that? Just mentioning the name of the array, or maximum you can write it as maximum you can write it as ampersand a of 0 like that. But not it's required. If you do only the name, that is sufficient. That is sufficient. If I do simple the array name, passing the array using its name, that is basically sufficient. Okay. So this is one way. Now, if I pass the array, how that should be taken in another part. If I pass the array, then I can take it either using this way the third variable, or you can take it using a pointer variable. So if I'm sending the base address, then these things can be done. Now you may say, how I can get to know if I use this pointer and all, how many numbers will be there and all. Yes, if you want, in that case, you may pass the base address and the number of elements in the array. Then in this phase, you can take this way in the function definition part, or you may use this third bracket and this one. So these are the things that you can do if you can pass the array through the function. You can do this. So this is about how we can deal with the single dimensional array. If we have the array of elements, how we can deal with them? Now we can pass the base address and can do the rest of the things. Now I'm not telling you that how you can return one array from the function. Yeah, that is a little bit complicated thing. I'm not telling you at this moment to do that. I'm just asking you that do this, that take 5 elements in one dimensional array, pass it, increment each of the element by 3 and then print it. Now where you will print, that I am leaving it up to you. You just check whether you are able to pass it or not. What I am telling, take one array, then send it through a function using the base address, take it in the function definition part, and then increment each of the value by 2 or 3, whatever you want, and then print the updated array. Do it now. Just check that whether you are able to do it or not. Just do that. It will take hardly 3-4 minutes time, but just do that.
Recording stopped. Recording
So I'm
in
giving
progress.
you open forum that if you are facing any kind of problem while writing this array, passing through the function, as you know the function as I have explained, so I'm expecting that you can do, but if you cannot do or you are facing any problem, you may ask. If it's done, you can write done in the chat.
Recording stop. Recording
Then
in
I can go
progress.
for two-dimensional array and its features.
Recording stopped.
So I'm getting the response that yes, this is
Recording
done.
in
So
progress.
fine. We can move to the next thing, that is two-dimensional array, or rather multi-dimensional array. So what we do in the two-dimensional array or multi-dimensional array is that normally whenever we learn the array concept, multi-dimensional, we think that that is basically one matrix format. Some rows, some columns are there, and we are able to access that. Just we are able to access that. But in reality, things are a little bit different. Means if I write, suppose int a 3, 2, it means what? It means that there will be 3 rows and 2 columns. There will be 3 rows and 2 columns. Fine. So as per our common sense, if we think 3 rows and 2 columns, again they are starting with 0. So my this location 0, 0. This is 0th row, 0th column. This is first column. So 0, 1, 2. So this is 0, 1. Then this is 1, 0, 1, 1. 2, 0, 2, 1. So you can see at each phase, the first index position is for row and the second index position is for column. Okay. First index position is for row and second index position is for column. Okay, fine. But in the memory, they are not getting stored in this fashion. In the memory, there is no chance that we can get a matrix format. In the memory, how they are getting stored? Either the row major or column. Means why? Means either they are getting stored row wise fashion or column wise fashion. That means 0, 0, then 0, 1, then 1, 0, then 1, 1, 2, 0, 2, 1. This is your row wise fashion. If it is column major, then it is 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1. Now, when this is important, first, if some problem is given to you, that let us assume something is being stored in column major order or rot. If nothing is mentioned, the default arrangement of the array is always row wise. Okay. Now, if I want to know the address of some specific position, again the things are same. Only the point is there is one row index and there is one column index. So how you can need to do, or how you need to do that? So you know the base address file. Now suppose you need to know the address of A11. You need to know the address of A11. So how you can get that thing? Now A11 indicates that it's first row, first column. That means you have crossed already first row, means 0th row you have crossed. So how many rows you have crossed? If I say this is I and this is J, how many rows you have crossed? As I have started with 0, I number of rows you have crossed. If you have crossed I number of rows, then actually how many elements you have crossed? If I say this is my one row, so okay, I number of rows I have crossed means 1, and number of columns that is given here, I have crossed that one. If I say that this is 2, 1, that means I have already crossed 2 rows. I have already crossed 2 rows. So in 2 rows, how many elements I have gone through? Now in each row, how many elements are there? Now that depends on the column number. Means if I say there is a row number and column number, means total number of rows and total number of columns are there, then I into C will give you actually how many elements you have crossed. Then the J. Now, whenever you are going for J, that means again how many elements you have crossed in that particular row. So whenever you need to go for multidimensional array and you need to find the address of some specific element, you need to go with this. First with the I means first index, that those many rows you have crossed. Now in those many rows, how many elements will be there? Now that is can be taken from the number of columns actually available in the matrix. So that is C. Here it is 2. J. J means what? In that particular row, how many elements you have crossed. So that is J. Now, this entire thing multiplied by the size of the data type. If you do entire thing, then you can get the answer. Now, this is for if you are doing it using the row-wise manner. If you are using it column-wise, so these things will be separated. So this is the thing. If I want to know what is the particular address of one element, or if in a problem for something, it's being told to us that, okay, something is there with this kind of thing that is one-dimensional means representation, but things are being stored in column wise just to make entire thing complicated. This is the way you can do the accessing of it. Now, if I want to access one two-dimensional array using pointer, then what I can do? If I want to access one two-dimensional array, then how I can access it? This accessing is very much interesting. It's being written as, suppose I want to access some specific Aij, then it can be written as A plus I plus J. And in the outside, there will be one. So how this actually operates? A is your base address, fine. Plus I. Now, A is base address, but it's for entire 2D array. So if I say go to the ith element means that is another array. I think my words are not clear to you. See, 2D array are being thought of that is one arrangement where each of the one-dimensional array is containing another one-dimensional array. Means this A 3 cross 2, this matrix is being thought of, sorry, this is thought of, there is one array where each of the element is individually one 2D array. So that's why whenever I do A plus I, it will go to the ith element. Ith element means any of these arrays. So this will move to the row. If you evaluate this, it will move to you a row address. And after that, whenever you do plus J, now it will move in that particular row, in which particular location you want to move, it will move the pointer up to that level. Once that is done, then this star help you to evaluate the thing. Okay. So this is the way we can access the two-dimensional array using the pointer variable. If I write directly this A plus I and all, no, it's not going to give you any kind of value. It will give you the another address, that is your row address. And after that, whenever we do another addition of a position, that will give me the address that, okay, in that particular row where we supposed to move, that particular information you will get with this. And then when you will give the star outside all the brackets, then only it will find the value. Fine. So this is the way how you can access the 2D array. Yes, I am repeating. Let me unmute yourself, you all. Then I can get the queries and I can give the answer, because within next few minutes TM sir will start. So I will not start anything else today. You ask your doubt, I will try to clear. You will ask your doubt, I will try to clear it. I have given you the, I can unmute yourself if you have query and get it clarified. Which particular part where I should repeat?
Ma'am, how A plus I is working? I'm not getting this part.
Okay.
Why we are adding I with J? I with A and then with J.
See, suppose you want to access the element A of 1, 1. Okay. So previously what we do in the one-dimensional array, star A plus 1 is giving you A of 1, right? Now, for two-dimensional array, if I write star A plus 1, then what actually happened? A is giving you the address of 0th element. Only A is giving you the address of the 0th element. What is the 0th element? Now 0th array, 0th 1D array is your 0th element. When multidimensional array is there, A plus 0 or only A is giving you the 0th element. That is nothing but the base address of the first element. Now, for a two-dimensional array, which one is the first element? The 0th 1D array is your first element. Here is the difference. 0 previously it was 0th element. Direct you can get the value. But here it is 0th element, means it's basically 0th 1D array. So if it is 0th 1D array, then what you will do? Now if it is 0th 1D array, then the moment you do a addition of 1 or any I, it will move accordingly from that particular position. It will move accordingly. So if I do a plus 1, then what it will do now, it will move accordingly, means according to the type of what? Type of the thing with which you are adding. A is the base address of a 2D array, and A is currently holding the or pointing to the 0th element of one 1D array. So if I do A plus I, it will move the pointer to the ith row. So A plus 1 in the one-dimensional array, it's going to the next element. Here is also it is going to the next element, but here one element means one-dimensional array. So it will move to the next one-dimensional array. So A of 1 here, star A plus 1 will move to you the first array, not to the first element, means 0, 0, 0, 1. So it will not move to the 0, 1th element. No, it will move you to the first element. That is first 1D array. You have skipped the 0th 1D array. So if I want to access the 0th 1D array, I should write it as star A plus 0. So that means it will stay in the 0th 1D array. So this is the significance of inner A plus I, that it is moving to the ith row. Now, star A plus I then give you the address of that particular 1D array row, means where it is being moved. Then you do the plus J. So in that particular row, in which particular location it can move the pointer, that is identified by the J. Once your pointer moving is done, then the outer star evaluates to the value.
Okay, ma'am, understood.
Okay. Anything else? Anyone, anything else? Any other question or anything regarding this? Now the thing is that the way we have learned the dynamic allocation of this array, dynamic allocation of this one-dimensional array, we can do the dynamic allocation of 2D array also. How? See, if I try to remember all these things, it will not benefit us that much. How we can do this? Think in this way, that the point I have told you, that one 2D array means they are individually 1D array. They are individually 1D array. So, what you can do? Now you can do what? Now you can create individually one-dimensional array, and you may assign it somewhere. You can create individually one-dimensional array, and you can assign them to somewhere else. There are different ways. You have studied in the second year. Can anybody remember all these? You have studied those in the second year. Can anybody remember this, that how we can do the two-dimensional array dynamic memory allocation? Obviously, using this allot and all these functions. No confusion in that. But how we can do that? Yeah, then how I proceed? Means I do not require even double pointer. I do not require. You are using that as your choice. But that's not required. That's one of the way, but that's not the only way. how I can forward. Anyway, you can go with the fact that you can take a chunk of memory. Again, I have shared. You can do what you can take one variable. Suppose AR for array. You just allocate it with the normal way that I have done. Number of rows that is no you column and size of int as I do integer array, and then use normal for loop to assign the elements. Just use this format and assign. This is the easiest format. Whether it is double star or all, these are much more complicated. If you can do that, but by this way you can get the thing. And whenever I assign an element, you can use this that particular formula that just will give the location of your child element. If I do run a loop for I, a loop for A, then this will give you the position of your child. You can go with this calculation. If anyone is having any, this is a very simple calculation. You may try if you are facing a problem, may ask now later. If you have any question, you may ask. Another thing is there is a popular concept. One is called pointer to array, and people get question from here also. An array of pointers. Two different concepts are there. One is array of pointer, another one is pointer to array. Although the names look like same, but things are not same at all. What is array of pointers? Array of pointers is basically simple concept as if I compare it to the pointer array concept. Array of pointers means there will be one array which can hold the address of different arrays. With this ARR, it's not a single integer array. It can hold the address of 5 different arrays, or it may be 5 different values also. 5 different addresses it can store. Whether those addresses are individually array or array address or the variable, that's a completely different issue. But it can do that. Fine. What about the pointer to array? That is little bit interesting. If I give, see, the declaration is itself like this. There will be one bracket. See, here no bracket is there, the parenthesis is there. It means that A is pointing to an array of 4 integers. An array of pointers means all the content of the array will be address only. But pointer to array means what? A is a pointer to array variable which is pointing to an array of 4 integers. It means if I consider that there is one, say there is one there is one array of size, suppose 3 cross 4, and certain elements are there, suppose 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If this kind of elements are there, then what we will do, or how this pointer to array can help us. Now, if I have another pointer variable, say q, and if this p, if this particular pointer variable, that is q, is assigned the base address of a, or you can write directly the a, and my a is being assigned with the base address of p. Sorry, this will be also p. Sorry, this will be p. Then what will happen? A is your pointer to array variable. Q is a normal pointer. So if I do a plus plus, if I do a plus plus, what is the pointer manipulation or pointer rule says? That every time it depends on the type of the data. So what is the type of the data now? The type of the data is, now it's a pointer to array. Where it is pointing to array of 4 integers. So q plus plus will point to next element. Next element means it will come here. But if you ask for q, it will just point to the next one. As if you do this kind of typecasting, it will move to the next element directly. It will point to the next row. If this is your column size, it will point to the next row. That means if I want to skip one row in some manipulation, I can use this one. Although complicated concept, but I can use. Okay. So if you use all these things, then only things will be clear to you. So you have the TM Sir class now. So I'm stopping here. It's already 11:59. If you have any query regarding this within week or in the next week, you can ask in the pointer to array of pointers and everything. You can try it by yourself. If you try, then only you can get the idea that how things can be done. Okay. I cannot continue after this.
Recording stopped.
Stopping here at as sir will join, and sir has already joined, so I'm making sir as co-host and sir can continue. Sir, you can continue.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Sir, attendance কি দেবো?
Good afternoon, sir.
Attendance register করে ঢুকলে attendance হয়ে যায়। Register করে ঢোকা মানে attendance already done।
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা স্যার।
ঠিক আছে স্যার।
তো তুই 10 মিনিট ব্রেক দিচ্ছি, একদম রিল্যাক্স করে নিস। খুব ভালো জিনিস করাবো, ডাইরেক্ট কোশ্চেন অফ এনকিউটি টিসিএস কোশ্চেন লেভেল দেখবি, ডাইরেক্ট কোশ্চেন এনকিউটি।
স্যার এবারে কি টিসিএস এনকিউটি টেস্টের জন্য কি রেজিস্টার করব?
ওটারে
টিসিএস এনকিউটি তে রেজিস্টার করব কি?
রেডি, প্রিপারেশন কি রেডি?
প্রিপারেশন স্যার আপনি যেটা করা করিয়েছেন সেটা শেষ, সবকটা ক্লাস করেছি আর হ্যান্ডস অন কোডিংটা প্র্যাকটিস করছি।
ওকে, এখন রিজনিং করতে হবে, কিন্তু রিজনিং হাত দিন এখন।
হ্যাঁ, রিজনিংটা আপনার বাকি আছে
করতে হবে, ডেটা ইন্টারপ্রিটেশন করতে হবে।
হ্যাঁ, ডিআই তো স্যার অনেক আছে শুনেছি।
জানি। এপ্রিলে কবে আছে পরীক্ষাটা?
না, এখন রেজিস্টার করলে আপনার 25 বোধহয় কত 10 তারিখ অবধি না কত রেজিস্টার করা যায় শুনছিলাম।
পরীক্ষাটা কবে হবে? এপ্রিলে?
পরীক্ষাটা এপ্রিলে হবে। হ্যাঁ,
চাপ হয়ে যাবে, চাপ হয়ে যাবে, একটু বাদে কর।
এখনই তো সাবমিট করলে কিছু লাভ নেই তো স্যার।
বল বল।
এখনই তো স্যার এই ফর্মটা সব ফিল আপ করলে কিছু লাভ নেই, এখনই তো কোর্স কমপ্লিট হয়নি।
হ্যাঁ, এখন করতে ভালো করছি, কারণ একবার মানে নন কোয়ালিফাই হয়ে গেলে মুশকিল হয়ে যাবে।
তো ওখানে কি মানে কিছু লিমিটেশন থাকে কি কতবার তুমি সাবমিট করতে পারবো?
কিছু বলেনি, কিন্তু ব্যাপারটা যদি একবার রেজিস্টার হয়ে গিয়ে তাহলে গন্ডগোল হয়ে যাবে।
হ্যাঁ স্যার, ফুল প্রিপারেশন না নিয়ে না যাওয়াই ভালো।
স্যার মানে এরকম কিছু প্রাইভেট সেক্টরে আইটি সেক্টরে হয় কি মানে কি তোমার 2 টাইমস বা 3 টাইমস লিমিটেশন থাকে?
না না, এরকম কোনো ব্যাপার তো শুনিনি।
একবার কোয়ালিফাই না হলে 6 মাসের মধ্যে বসতে পারবি না। একবার কোয়ালিফাই না হলে 6 মান্থের মধ্যে বসতে পারবি না।
মানে একবার কোয়ালিফাই না করলে 6 মাস পরে বসতে পারবো?
হ্যাঁ।
ও মানে 6 মাসের মধ্যে আর বসতে পারবো না?
না, না, না।
আচ্ছা,
ও সেটাই তো স্যার জিজ্ঞেস করছি।
আমার মনে হয় আফটার জুন বসা ভালো।
আচ্ছা হ্যাঁ স্যার,
আচ্ছা।
আপনার অনেকটা কমপ্লিটও হয়ে যাবে।
আফটার জুন কমফোর্টেবল প্রেজেন্ট চালিয়ে যা। আজকে হেডলাইন দিয়ে রাখ, এনকিউটি প্রিভিয়াস কোশ্চেন ডাইরেক্ট। আমি কোনো মানে ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ চেঞ্জ না করে দিচ্ছি। ঠিক 12টা 15 স্টার্ট করবো আমি। যা চা খা জলটা ঘুরে আসা বাস করে।
স্যার হেডিংটা আরেকবার বলবেন?
ঠিক 12টা 15 স্টার্ট করবো আমি।
না হেডিং
চা খা জল খা বারুদা ঘুরে।
স্যার হেডিংটা একবার বলবেন?
এনকিউটি টিসিএস এনকিউটি ডাইরেক্ট কোশ্চেন। হেডলাইন যে প্লেসমেন্ট পেপার সলভ। প্লেসমেন্ট পেপার সলভ। আর টিসি আরো কিছু প্রশ্ন আছে যেগুলো ল্যাপটপ ছাড়া পড়া যাবে না, কলেজে গিয়ে পড়াবো। ঠিক 12টা শুরু করবো। গ্রুপে লিখে দিয়ে যারা যদি জয়েন করতে জানেন আয়োজন করে। ইফ ইউ মিস দিস ক্লাস মিস ফর এভার, কোন দেখা হবে না কিন্তু। এটা তোদের গত সপ্তাহে ছুটি ছিল না রে? আমার খেয়াল নেই। লাস্ট ইয়ারে ক্লাস হয়নি?
হ্যাঁ স্যার, ক্লাস হয়নি।
দোল ছিল না, না টেস্ট ছিল?
না স্যার,
হোলি
দোল ছিল।
হোলি।
আচ্ছা
স্যার, হ্যালো স্যার।
বল।
স্যার বলছি ওই ডিএস এ যদি ওয়ান যে স্টেটমেন্টটা আছে ওটা থেকে আনসার বেরোলো একটা, সেকেন্ড যে স্টেটমেন্টটা আছে ওটা থেকে যদি ডিফারেন্ট আনসার বেরোয়,
ডিফারেন্স কার যদি ডিফারেন্ট অ্যান্সার ডিফারেন্স কিছু হতো অ্যাঙ্গেল হতো ডিফারেন্ট অ্যান্সার, ভ্যালু অফ এক্স ডিফারেন্ট অ্যান্সার, কিন্তু আমার ডেটা অ্যান্সার হলে হবে না। আমার ডেট অফ বার্থ ডিফারেন্ট অ্যান্সার হলে হবে না। মনে কর লাস্ট ডে অফ সানডে, দ্য ডেট, যে দুটো ডিফারেন্স হলে হবে না। ইউনিভার্সাল ট্রুথ কে সেম হতে হবে।
আচ্ছা, ইউনিভার্সাল ট্রুথ ওটা যদি দুটো ডিফারেন্ট হয় তাহলে নাইদার ওয়ান নট টু তে হবে।
একদম একদম।
আচ্ছা
কারণ বললাম ফেব্রুয়ারি মাসে 21 কি ছিল, একবার বললো সানডে, একবার বললো মানডে, হবে না।
কিন্তু কোড ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ যদি হয় তাহলে হতে পারে, কোড ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ হ্যাঁ।
এক্স এর ভ্যালু কত হতে পারে, অ্যাঙ্গেল কত হতে পারে।
হুম হুম।
এই ক্লাস মিস করলে একমাত্র প্লেসমেন্ট পেপার দিয়ে তুই সব জিনিস পড়ে দিতে পারবো, যা যা আগে ক্লাস ফাঁকি মেরেছিস তার জন্য মরে যাবি কিন্তু।
স্যার এই বুধবার আসবেন তো?
হ্যাঁ
স্যার বলছি আপনি লাস্ট দিন ওই ডিএস এর যেগুলো করিয়েছিলেন ওগুলো একবার করে করিয়ে দেবেন, বুধবার দিনকে বুঝিয়ে দেবেন।
বাবা বাবা, দিয়ে তুই ছিলিস না?
না না স্যার ছিলাম, আপনি কোশ্চেন করিয়েছিলেন না তো, ওগুলো একবার যদি একবার ক্রস চেক করিয়ে দিতেন।
মনে করিস ক্লাসে
ঠিক আছে স্যার।
মনে করিস করে দেবো।
আচ্ছা স্যার।
দেখ তো আমি দিতে পারবো না, দিস ইজ অরিজিনাল পেপার, তুই উইদাউট চেঞ্জিং ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ কোশ্চেন করছিস। দেখ জিআই ফর্মে দিয়েছে কোশ্চেন, কোশ্চেন এবার লাগে আগে লিখ। অমল পিক্স সুইটস, অমল পিক্স সুইটস from a bag. Amol picks sweets from a bag without looking. Amol picks sweets from a bag without looking. Full stop.
Sir, repeat করুন একবার।
Of sweets, the distribution of sweets of each color in the bag, of each color in the bag is shown below. Is shown below. W stands for white.
স্যার একবার রিপিট করুন স্যার।
What again? Amol picks sweets from a bag without looking. Amol picks sweets from a bag without looking. Full stop. The distribution of sweets of each color in the bag. Each color in the bag is shown below.
স্যার প্রথম থেকে একবার রিপিট করবেন, কেটে গেছিল।
Amol picks sweets from a bag without looking. Without looking. The distribution of sweets of each color in the bag is shown below.
Sir, without looking.
The distribution of sweets of each color in the bag shown below. Distribution of sweets of each color in the bag is shown below. W stands for white. O stands for orange. M stands for magenta. P stands for purple.
Sir, M stands for?
M for magenta. W white, O orange, M magenta, P purple. B blue. R red. Y yellow. And G for green. Question: what is the probability that Amol will pick a white sweet? What is the probability that Amol will pick a white sweet?
Sir, what is the probability?
Amol will pick a white sweet. The probability অঙ্ক দিয়েছে ডেটা ইন্টিগ্রেশন মধ্যে দিয়ে, এটার নামে টিসিএস। এগুলো কিন্তু অল টিসিএস অরিজিনাল কোশ্চেন। সবচেয়ে অদ্ভুত হচ্ছে টাইম লিমিট অফ 40 সেকেন্ড। স্টার্ট কর।
Sir, what is the probability? কি ছিল তারপরে?
Amol will pick a white sweet. সাদা মিষ্টি তোলার প্রবলেম কত? বল। অপশন ছিল না কিন্তু fill in the blanks. No option. Give the answer in decimal. No option. বল।
Sir, 0.2.
কত?
Sir, 0.2.
0.2.
এতক্ষণ লাগলো কেন? এতক্ষণ লাগলো কেন? এতক্ষণ প্রবলেম একটাই ফর্মুলা। টোটাল আউটকাম কত দেখ যোগ করলে 30 হচ্ছে তার মধ্যে হোয়াইট এর প্রবলেম কত 6 6/30 তাহলে 1/5 তার মানে 0.2 এই তো মার খাবি টাইমেতে বারবার বলছি কিন্তু এই ক্লাস যারা করছিল একদম পুরো দাঁড়িয়ে ভরে যাবে পরীক্ষা হলে অঙ্ক পড়ে মানে বুঝে করতে গিয়ে 12 হয়ে যাবে নেক্সট প্রবলেম নাম্বার 2 করেছি ক্লাসে তো সিনিয়ররা বলছে এটা করছেন কেন সেকেন্ড কোশ্চেন গিয়ে পেয়েছে এবার দেখ টিসিএস এর কোশ্চেনের মোটিভ হলো স্টোরি গল্প বলে এই গল্পটা খুব তাড়াতাড়ি করে বুঝতে হবে লেখ ইউজিং প্রিন্সিপাল অফ মোমেন্ট one can weigh any item using the principle of moment comma one can weigh any item
The principle of
moment using principle of moment comma one can weigh সবাই মিউট করে একটা শুনতে পাবি one can weigh any item using a single weighing stone full stop in one such experiment in এটা style কিন্তু in one such experiment comma a food packet was kept hanging
sir
a food packet was kept hanging at a distance of 15 centimeter.
Sir, food packet.
আমি বলছি রিপিট করছি চুপচাপ শোন in one such experiment a food packet was kept hanging at a distance of 15 centimeter to the left of a rod center rod apostrophe s 15 centimeter to the left of a rod center
so key center
rod danda rod apostrophe s center full stop it was countered by a 50-gram weighing stone. It was countered by a 50-gram weighing stone, kept at a distance of 45 centimeter. Kept at a distance of 45 centimeter. 45 centimeter to the right of the center. To the right of the center. আমার গলা খুলে গেল 50-gram weighing stone comma kept at a distance of 45 centimeter to the right of the center full stop what is the weight of the food packet এবার কি ডায়লগ দিয়ে রাখছে দেখ what is the weight of the food packet তলা লেখ write your answer
sir last question কি বললেন
what is the weight of the food packet এর সঙ্গে লেখা আছে লেখ write your answer as a numeral without any unit comma space or any other character anywhere and any other character anywhere বলে ফেল
এটা কি মাস পয়েন্ট জিওমেট্রি দিয়ে করতে হবে
বাবা
এটা কি মাস পয়েন্ট জিওমেট্রি দিয়ে করতে হবে
হ্যাঁ আমি কি এমনি যদি পড়েছি
না বুঝেছি
স্যার 150
রাইট
150.
এবার দেখে নে স্যার কেন ক্লাসে এটা পড়ায়। তো সিনিয়ররা বলছিল স্যার এরকম পড়াশোনা পরীক্ষা আছে আমি জানি না তো। পরীক্ষা দেওয়া হবে আমরা বলছি স্যার কোশ্চেন কি আপনি করেছিলেন কি বলবো। আর বলছি ক্লাসে থাক বেশি বেশি যাবে আর এই প্রেস পেপার দিন কেউ কামাই করবি না তাই যারা ক্লাসে অ্যাবসেন্ট করছি বেশি যাবে। এখান থেকে 15 আর এখানে কত ছিল 45। এখানকার ওয়েট বার করতে বলছি ফুড প্যাকেট এখানে ওয়েট 50 গ্রাম তাহলে W1 L1 equal W2 L2 W into 50 equal 45 into 50 কাটতে বলে 3 W equal to 150 ঠিক কোন কোশ্চেন বল। বল ইস কোশ্চেন স্টাফ
No,
হ্যাঁ
sir.
স্যার।
এই হলো টিসেল ডায়ালগ 3 নম্বর কোশ্চেন একদম অরিজিনাল কোশ্চেন দিচ্ছি সব কিন্তু।
এই কোশ্চেনটা কি বলে মানে কোন ফর্মুলা?
W1 L1 equal W2 L2 মাস পান জিওমেট্রি। তোদের পড়েছিলি কে ক্লাসে ছিলিস আমি জানি না সব পড়েছি এগুলো যেখান থেকে ঝামেলা আসতে পারে সব পড়েছি। কোশ্চেন নাম্বার 3 লেখ দেখ কোশ্চেনের স্টাইল দেখ।
Sir,
TCS
what is the weight of food packet report, sir?
ছিল write your answer as a numeral without any unit space or other character. So সংখ্যা লিখতে হবে কোনো ইউনিট কিছু লাগবে না। আর টিসিএস এর অরিজিনাল কোশ্চেন ডায়ালগ দেখাচ্ছি কি ধরনের কোশ্চেন ওরা দেয়।
স্যার ওটা কি দেওয়ার কোনো দরকার ছিল?
হ্যাঁ দরকার ছিল ইউনিটে কি হবে গ্রামে দিবি তো গ্রামে দিতে হবে।
না স্যার আমরা তো জানি যে ইউনিট হয় না ওই জন্যই বলছি।
হয় না কেন গ্রাম হবে না?
হ্যাঁ হবে তো ওয়েট তো
वेट तो यूनिट से होता है।
ইনপুট ওয়েটটা যদি 50 গ্রাম ধরি তাহলে আউটপুট ওয়েটটা 150 গ্রাম হবে। গ্রাম লিখতে হবে অনলি 150 লিখতে হবে এটাই বলছি। এগুলো তোকে জেনে নিতে হবে টিসিএস কি ধরনের কোশ্চেন করে কি লেখে। কোশ্চেন হচ্ছে লেখ ফার্স্ট কথা অনেকগুলো করতে পারবো অনেক 4টে 6টে কোশ্চেন আছে। কোশ্চেন স্টাইল দেখ সাম সায়েন্টিস্ট ইন্টারপ্রেট some scientists interpret satellite data some scientists interpret satellite data to mean that glaciers are melting faster. To mean that glaciers are melting faster than in earlier centuries. Glaciers are melting faster than in earlier centuries. অঙ্কটা পড়ে বলবি এটা কি
Melting
faster than in earlier centuries. Full stop. পুরোটা হয়ে গেলে আমায় বলবি এটা কি থেকে শিখেছে এরিথমেটিক মেথমেটিক্স জিওমেট্রি রিজনিং কার থেকে দিয়েছে চিন্তা পাবি না। ফুল স্টপ। in each decade since the industrial revolution comma industrial revolution comma the amount of glacier melt has doubled একদিন ধরে ঘাস কাটলি এখন যে কাজ করতে তখন এসেছিস সোমবারের মধ্যে কোনো একটি করতে আপনি কেটে নিয়ে যান যারা মোবাইল যাই না 1 মাস ধরে এসে বসে আছে No. In each decade, since the industrial revolution, comma, the amount of glacier melt has doubled, and some scientists predict that all the glacier will have melted away by the year 2037. Full stop.
Sir, the amount of glacier melt double and some scientists
predict that all the glacier will have melted away by the year 2037. Will have melted away by the year 2037. I repeat, that was millennium. Some scientists interpret satellite data to mean that the glacier are melted faster than its earlier centuries. Full stop. In each decade, since the industrial revolution, the amount of glacier melt has doubled, and some scientists predict that all the glacier will have melted away by the year 2037. Full stop. Full stop. If indeed,
Sir, year 2037.
Full stop. If indeed these were true, comma, in which year would we have lost? In which year would we have lost 50% of all the glaciers? 50% of all the glaciers. It is ছাড়া কারো পক্ষে এই কোশ্চেন দেয় না কেউ। কোনো অপশন নেই।
কোশ্চেন
হ্যাঁ বল।
এটা স্যার কিসের কোশ্চেন?
টিসিএস এর কোশ্চেন।
তাহলে টিসিএস এ বুঝতে পেরেছি, এবার রিজনিং এর কোশ্চেন নাকি ওটাই তো বুঝতে পারছি না।
সেটা তো জানতে চাইছি আমি। এবার কোশ্চেন থেকে বল, তুই পরীক্ষাটা গিয়ে ভূত দেখবি যদি কোশ্চেন ক্লাসে করা না থাকে। জীবনে কোনো বইতে এই কোশ্চেন পাবি না, নেই। আমি তোদের অরিজিনাল কোশ্চেন দেখে নি। পড়ে মানে বলতে কি অঙ্কটা দেখানোর পরে বলি 5 সেকেন্ড লাগে না। টিসিএস পুরো এগুলো গুগলি পড়ে মানে বল কি হলো, তারপরে অ্যান্সার বল।
স্যার आंसर কি 2036 হবে? 2036
খুব ভালো
2036
প্রতিটা ওয়ার্ড দেখ
স্যার 2027
কারেক্ট। কি নাম নামটা বল। যে 2027 বলে কি নামটা বল। কি রে 2027 ইজ দ্য রাইট অ্যানসার। কে বলি নামটা বল। নামটা বল। কথা না বলে কাজ করবি করে। শেয়ার কর, আনন্দকে শেয়ার কর। একটা ডায়লগ দেখ, ইন ইচ ডিকেড মানে 10 বছর, প্রতি 10 বছরে হাফ হয়, তাহলে 50% যদি হয় তার হাফটা হয়ে যাবে 0। তার 2037 যদি 0 হয়ে যায়, তার 2027 50% ছিল। Answer is 2027. Answer 2027. বুঝে গেল?
Repeat.
আরেকবার একটু বলুন।
একবার রিপিট করুন।
37 এ বলছে গ্লেসিয়ার জিরো হয়ে যাবে, সব জিরো হয়ে যাবে। আর প্রতি দিকের মানে 10 বছর, 10 বছর হাফ হাফ হয়। তা 27 এ যদি 50% থাকে তা 37 এ জিরো হয়ে যাবে। বলছি কোন ইয়ারে 50% থাকবে বল? এখান থেকে মেবি কতটা কাটতে হবে দেখে নিই, কাটতে হবে না, মুড়ি।
স্যার একবার রিপিট করবেন লজিকটা।
লজিক হলো প্রত্যেক 10 বছরে বড় ভাগ হয়ে যায়। তো যদি 37 এ জিরো হয়ে যায়, তার আগের বারে 50% ছিল, 10 বছর আগে 50% ছিল, তাই 10 বছর পর জিরো হয়েছে। গ্লেসিয়ার গুলো ফার্স্ট টাইম গলে যাচ্ছে, বলছে 2037 সালে এটা জিরো হয়ে যাবে। আর প্রতি 10 বছর পর অন্তত হাফ হয়ে যায়। 10 বছর পরে যদি হাফ হয়, তার 27 এ যদি 50% থাকে, তাহলে 37 জিরো হয়ে যাবে। বুঝে গেল? বুঝে গেল? বল হ্যাঁ না কি বল তো।
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ।
এবার বসে স্টাইল দেখ, তাহলে বুঝতে হবে কি কেন ডিসিশন চেঞ্জ করছি। এ ভেরি ক্রাউডেড স্ট্রিট ইন টিনাগার, এটা ডিসিশন খুব পছন্দ না, পরপর 3 বছর দিয়েছে।
এটা কি পরের কোশ্চেনটা স্যার?
হ্যাঁ, এ ভেরি ক্রাউডেড স্ট্রিট ইন টিনাগার, টিনাগার হচ্ছে চেন্নাই একটা বড় শহর। চেন্নাইতে 3 নম্বর একটা বড় টাউন। এ ভেরি ক্রাউডেড স্ট্রিট ইন টিনাগার contains 100 building. Contains 100. A very crowded street in Tinagar. A very crowded street in Tinagar contains 100 building. Contains 100 building. Full stop. The buildings are numbered from 1 to 100. The buildings are numbered from 1 to 100. One to 100. How many nines? 9 apostrophe S. How many nines? A very crowded street in Tinagar contains 100 building. Contains 100 building. The buildings are numbered from 1 to 100. The buildings are numbered from 1 to 100. Full stop. How many nines are used? 9 apostrophe S. How many nines are used by Chennai Corporation? By Chennai Corporation in numbering this building. In numbering this building.
19 খানা 9 ইউজ হয়েছে।
স্যার 10টা।
11টা।
স্যার 20
স্যার 20
19
21 স্যার।
21
19
এই দেখ সারা জীবনের জন্য মুখস্থ করে নি।
স্যার হাউ মেনি নাইনস আর ইউজড বাই চেন্নাই কর্পোরেশন, তারপর
আগে ভালো করে দেখ।
স্যার 11টা।
এই দেখ আগে বলছি কটা জিরো হয়, এবার কটা জিরো? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100। এবার এক একটা পাঁচের সঙ্গে জিরো কত করে লিখতে হবে? 5 হলো জিরো জিরো, তাহলে 1টা 2টো 3টে 4টে 5 6 7 8 9 10 11, তাহলে জিরো হয় 11 বার, 11 টাইমস। আমি যদি 1 to 100 লিখি, জিরো লিখবো 11 বার, এবার 1 এর 1 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18, 19, 21, 31, 41, 51, 61, 71, 81, 91 and 100. এবার দেখ 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 তাহলে 1 লিখতে 21 বার আর বাকি সবকে 20 বার দেখে পরীক্ষায় গিয়ে মুখস্থ না করে পারবি না জানতে পারবি 9 আগে 9 হিসেবে দেখ 9 19 29 39 49 59 69 79 89 90 91 92 93 94 95 96 97 98 99 was like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 তাহলে 2 থেকে 9 সব 20 বার হয় এরা পরীক্ষায় ভাবতে না লিখে রাখ লিখে রাখ একই হবে একটু মিক্সচার কত মুভ কাটতে হবে মুভ আচ্ছা এটা কি আছে তো আমি কতটা চাইলে বলুন আমি না হ্যাঁ এটা আপনি মূল্য দিতে বলছি করে দেবো হ্যাঁ আপনার কাছে হ্যাঁ কাটতে হবে মূল্য কাজ लिखे from 1 to 100 from 1 to 100 0 will be written 0 will be written 11 times 0 will be written 11 times 1 will be written 21 times 1 will be written এখানে সরাই কাজটা যতটা এই সময় হয় আর যত যেটা কাজ দিবেন
আরে স্যার কিছু দেখা যাচ্ছে না স্যার
দিশা এটা পুরো ছোট ছোট কারো সময় হয়নি সবাই ভিআইপি আমি বেকার
স্যার একবার ফার্স্ট থেকে বলুন না
0 to 100 if I want to write 0 to 100 0 will be written 11 times 0 will be written 11 times আচ্ছা একটু বলেছি এটা দেখে নিয়ে আসি তাহলে 1 will be written 21 times so 1 will be written 21 times ওখানে কাপড় আছে and 2 থেকে 9 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 all should be written 20 times একদম মুখস্থ করে পরীক্ষায় গুনতে জানা হয় তাহলে এক থেকে যদি 100 লেখা হয় 0 লিখতে হবে 11 বার 1 লিখতে হবে 21 বার আর 2 থেকে 9 লিখতে হবে 20 বার তিনটি অপশনই আছে এর পরে মাসটা দেখ তুই শেষ করে সময়ের মধ্যে পুরো শেষ করবি আরে বলতে কত কথা বললাম আধ ঘন্টা কি অনেকটা মনে আছে তো কিন্তু কাটতে মালুম করছে শুধু আটাকে মনে দিতে পারে কটা আছে এটা তিনটে পিস দুটো এটা বড় একটা বিরাট ফটো বলে দিই বুঝলে আচ্ছা টোটাল আমরা 250 টাকা পড়বে ঠিক আছে পুরো কলকাতা না 80 টাকা এই করে দেবেন একটু আগে একটু করে খেলি গলা খুব খারাপ অবস্থা রে এবার কোশ্চেন লেখ
না
an equilateral triangle ABD an equilateral after TCS is own language without changing language an equilateral triangle ABD is inscribed in a circle shown in the figure
Sir, repeat again, sir. Equilateral triangle.
An equilateral triangle ABD is inscribed in a circle shown in the figure এই কোশ্চেন বাইরে কাউকে শেয়ার করবি না তোদের ছাড়া বাইরে কাউকে এই কোশ্চেন শেয়ার করবি না বারণ করছি কিন্তু shown in the figure full stop AC is the diameter of the circle
Sir, an equilateral triangle.
Equilateral triangle ABD is inscribed in a circle. An equilateral triangle ABD is inscribed in a circle as shown in the figure. AC is the diameter of the circle. AC is the diameter of the circle. AC is the diameter of the circle. The radius of the circle is 10 centimeter. If the radius of the circle is 10 centimeter, then what is the area of the shaded region? So that term shaded region I have to put it. What is the area of the shaded region?
Sir, area of
shaded region.
কি রিজন বললেন?
shaded বাবা নতুন কাজ করেছিস শুনুনি
আচ্ছা স্যার the radius of তারপরে
area of the shaded region যিনি মার্ক shaded area করেছিল মেনসুরাল জিওমেট্রি shaded area তো প্রচুর করেছি
হ্যাঁ স্যার অনেক
আচ্ছা বলুন আমাদের কোশ্চেন সোজা
স্যার বিসি যে পার্টটা আছে ওটা কি পুরোটা সেটেড, নিচে পার্টটা আছে বিসির নিচে?
আগে নিচে সেটা
ওরপর বলেছে if the radius of the circle is 10 centimeter, what is the area of shaded region?
shaded region. Shaded region. মানে উপরে ফাঁকটা নিচে ফাঁকটা দুটো বাজে পড়ে করতে এই লেভেলে কোশ্চেন তৈরি করা না থাকে, প্র্যাকটিস করা না থাকে, পরীক্ষা আমার খুব বিপদ আছে। আর টিচার সব কগনিটিভ করে দিয়েছে।
স্যার রেডিয়াসটা 10 সেন্টিমিটার বলেছিলেন?
বারবার স্পিডে কর, বেশি করা যাবে না। টিসিএস প্রত্যেক বছর কোশ্চেন ক্যাল পাল্টায়। হবে হবে
না স্যার।
বোর্ড দেখ, এত সময় দেবে না। আমি বহুবার বলছেন পিথাগোরাস থেকে কি জিনিস জানবে, একটা হলো দুটো এরিয়া ভাঙছি, একটা হলো হাফ সার্কেল, এই হাফ সার্কেল রেডিয়াস হলো 10, তাই এরিয়া হলো পাই ইন্টু 10 স্কয়ার বাই 2, তাই 50 পাই প্লাস এই এরিয়া এটা ট্রায়াঙ্গেল, এটা রেডিয়াস 10 আর ওটা 20। এবার মাথায় রাখ, বহু ক্লাসে বলেছেন পাইথাগোরাস থিওরেম রেডি করা না থাকে কিন্তু মুশকিল পড়ে যাবে পরীক্ষা দিয়ে। এটা 5, তাহলে একটা 4 একটা 3, এটা 10, তাহলে একটা 6 একটা 4, এটা 13, একটা 12 একটা 5, এটা 20, একটা 16 একটা 12, পুরো ঝেড়ে মুখস্থ। তাহলে এটা এখানটা হলো 20, এটা 90 ডিগ্রি সেমি সার্কুলার অ্যাঙ্গেল, তাই এটা একটা পারপেন্ডিকুলার, এটা 12 এটা 16 হয়ে গেল। তাহলে এটা 12 দিকে 16, তাই এইটা বেরিয়ে যাবে। ঠিক আছে, জানি
ওইটা 90 ডিগ্রি দেওয়া ছিল।
ওরে গাধা রে, সেমি সার্কুলার অ্যাঙ্গেল 90 ডিগ্রি তুমি জানো না? বিটে করছিস কি রে? তাহলে হাফ ইন্টু বেস ইন্টু অলিটিউড, এটা 6, 96 যোগ কর, যাওয়া যায় অ্যান্সার। সেমি সার্কুলার অ্যাঙ্গেল তো 90 ডিগ্রি হয়। বাড়িতে একদিন যারা নাক ডেকে ঘুমোচ্ছি তারা একবার ভোগে যাবে, রেডি থাকিস। 3 মাসের মধ্যে জীবন নির্ধারণ হয়ে যাবে, 3 মাস পরে প্লেসমেন্ট স্টার্ট। ক্লাসে অ্যাটেন্ড করে কোশ্চেন আওয়াজ পাচ্ছে, পরে কোশ্চেন লেখ।
স্যার ওয়েট স্যার,
স্যার একটু ওয়েট করুন
স্যার।
হ্যাঁ করছি। আমি তো বললাম তোদের আমি আইনি শুরু করিনি, তোদের আমি একদিন করে স্পেসিফিক্যাল টাইম দিলাম সবাইকে একসঙ্গে আসতে প্লেসমেন্ট পেপার জন্য। প্লেসমেন্ট পেপার করা না থাকলে পরীক্ষা না হবে না, কিন্তু মাথা রেখে দিই কত ভ্যারাইটিস কোশ্চেন আছে, প্লেসমেন্ট না হলে খুলতে পারবি না।
স্যার আপনি যেটা 10 ওটা 4 6 লিখেছেন, ওটা তো স্যার 8 হবে।
ও 4 4 8 হবে। আরেকটা ছয় পুরো মুখস্থ রেখে দেখি হাইপোটেনিউজ 5 হলে 3 4 হাইপোটেনিউজ 10 হলে 8 6 হাইপোটেনিউজ 5 হলে হাইপোটেনিউজ 20 হলে 60 12
স্যার
বল
স্যার আর একটু বুঝিয়ে দিন স্যার, বুঝতে পারলাম না। পাই 10 স্কয়ার এই জায়গাটা
এইটা হাফ সার্কেলটা এই হলো পাই আর স্কয়ার বাই 2 আর এইটা হলো কোয়ার্টার মানে ট্রায়াঙ্গেল রাইট অ্যাঙ্গেল ট্রায়াঙ্গেল ক্যান্টের 90 তাই এটা যদি বের করি এটা তো পারপেন্ডিকুলার এটা হাইপোটেনিউজ তো হাফ ইনটু বেস ইনটু হাফ ইনটু 12 হলো 60 তাহলে 96 তাহলে 10 পাই প্লাস 96 যা হবে তাই আছে পাই এর ভ্যালু 3.14 বসে দিই
স্যার 96 টা স্যার কত থেকে
আমার মুন্ডু থেকে হাফ ইনটু বেস ইনটু ট্রায়াঙ্গেল এরিয়া এসিডি
স্যার ওই চারটে ট্রায়াঙ্গেল মুখস্থ রাখতে হবে?
ও আচ্ছা
বুঝলেন না
ওই চারটে ট্রায়াঙ্গেল ওইগুলো মুখস্থ রাখতে হবে?
ওভার কাজগুলো করেছি কাজটা ব্যাক করেছি কি আজ বসে করছিস তার শিখিস না
কোথায় ক্লাসগুলো সবই করিতে ভুলে গেছি।
তাহলে কি হবে খাতা কি আমার জন্য রেখেছিস
ডিভাইস
পার্টিকেল সব যত গন্ডগোল হবে কিন্তু এই ভ্যালু মুখস্থ করে রাখতে হবে পরে বসে লেখ I have a 2-digit number. I have a 2-digit number. TCS স্টাইলের মধ্যে কারোর সাথে মিলবে না কিন্তু অন্য কোনো কমন কোশ্চেন দেন I have a 2-digit number. The unit digit is twice than the 10th digit. Unit digit is twice than the 10th digit.
স্যার আরেকবার শুরু থেকে বলবেন
I have a 2-digit number. I have a 2-digit number. The unit digit is twice. The unit digit is twice as the 10th digit. Unit digit is twice as the 10th digit. Full stop. If I reverse the number, and subtract 36 from it, subtract 36 from it,
subtract
I get the initial number.
the subtract
36 from it. 36 from it. I get the initial number. I get the initial number. What is the number started with? বল
Sir, 48.
বলুন তো
বল
Sir, 48.
correct দেখে নি আগে possibilities দেখ unit digit is twice than the 10 digit মানে হতে পারে নাম্বার 1 2 হতে পারে 2 4 হতে পারে 3 6 হতে পারে 4 8 আর তো হবে না এটা উল্টে দে 21 এতে 36 মাইনাস করতে হলে এটা আসে না 42 36 মাইনাস করে এটা আসে না 63 36 মাইনাস করে এটা আসে না 84 36 মাইনাস কর 40 আসে সো ইওর অ্যান্সার ইজ 48 আমি পড়িয়েছিলাম চারটা নাম প্রবলেম সলভিং কোশ্চেন মনে পড়ছে দেখ যারা ক্লাস করি তারা পারবে possibilities unit digit is double the 10th digit একটা digit হতে পারে 1 2 2 4 3 6 4 8 উল্টে দিলে তাতে 36 মাইনাস করতে পারে 12 হয় না উল্টে দিয়ে 36 মাইনাস করে 24 হয় না উল্টে দিয়ে 36 মাইনাস করে 36 হয় না 84 কে উল্টে দিয়ে 36 মাইনাস করে 48 হয় এবার দেখ সিলেকশন শুরু করছি টিচার এই অঙ্ক দিয়ে ওটা পাল্টে দিয়েছি তো পড়াবো Question number 7. মানে problem given from syllogism SYLLOGISM. SYLLOGISM. Next statement. Double inverted comma মধ্যে, within the double inverted comma, all fathers are men.
স্যার আরেকবার রিপিট করতে পারবে?
All fathers are men. Some are teachers or politician. কোনো কমা দাঁড়িয়ে বুঝতে পারছি না কিন্তু all fathers are men. Some are teachers or politician. Some are teachers or politician.
Sir, all fathers are men এর সঙ্গেই না ওটা সেকেন্ড লাইনে some
Continue. All fathers are men. কোনো কমা নেই কিন্তু some are teachers or politician. Some are teachers or politician, but no teacher is a politician. But no teacher is a politician.
স্যার একসঙ্গে
Double finish. Mute করে এক শুনতে পাবি all fathers are men. Some are teachers or politician, but no teacher is a politician. Double inverted comma closed. Can be represented in Venn diagram. Can be represented by Venn diagram. M for men, F for father, T for teachers, P for politician.
স্যার কি বললে? এফ ফর ফাদার্স, তারপরে
M for men, F for father, T for teacher, P for politician. Which of the following option is true? Which of the following option is true? ভালো করে টাকা মোর দেখ। এই টিসিএস শুরু করেছে সিলেকশন দিয়ে, এখন 4টা কোশ্চেন সিলেকশন দিচ্ছি। কি কোনো কিছু বড় হাত দিয়ে অপশন এ।
স্যার আমার ডি এসছে।
অপশন ডি।
বল কি আছে?
ডি স্যার, ডি এসছে।
অপশন ডি।
স্যার ডি হবে স্যার।
অনেক কিছু কেন? All fathers are men. Some are teacher or politician. তাহলে ফাদার মেনের মধ্যে হবে এক নম্বর ফাদার মেনের বাইরে আউট এমনি হবে। ফাদার মেনের মধ্যে হবে এদের মধ্যে কেউ টিচার কেউ পড়েছেন, ফাদারের মধ্যে টিচার আর ফাদারের মধ্যে পড়েছেন আছে, কিন্তু কোন টিচার পড়েছেন নয়। তাহলে অ্যান্সার হবে ডি। দেখ ফাদারের মধ্যে মেন আছে, মানে মেনের মধ্যে ফাদার আছে, সাম আর টিচার। তাহলে বাইরেটা হলো মেল টিচার না ফিমেল টিচার, সাম আর পড়েছেন কিন্তু টিচার পড়েছেন একা হবে। লজিক শুড ভেরি ক্লিয়ার। এটা দেখ সব ফাদার মেন, সাম ফাদার আর টিচার। তাহলে এ মেন টিচার, মেন বাট ফাদার নয়, এটা টিচার বাট লেডিস টিচার। এটা জেন্টস ফাদার, এটা মেল কিন্তু ফাদার নয়, পড়েছেন। এরা হলো লেডিস পড়েছেন। এটাকে বলে সিলোজিসিম। আমি পড়াবো।
স্যার আনসারটা কি হবে?
ডি 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 বলতে
হ্যাঁ ঠিক আছে
স্যার আরেকবার বোঝাবেন?
আর বোঝাবো। দিয়ে ছবি দেখ, ফাদাররা সবাই মেল, তাহলে মেনের মধ্যে হবে। এবার টিচার ফাদাররা নয় টিচার হবে নয় পড়েছেন হবে, কিন্তু টিচার পড়েছেন পাঁচ হবে না। তা টিচার পড়েছেন পাঁচ নেই। যারা ফাদারের মধ্যে টিচার, বাইরে আছে মেন কিন্তু ফাদার নয় টিচার, তার বাইরে আছে ফিমেল টিচার। এখানে ফাদারের মধ্যে মেন, মেন আছে কিন্তু পড়েছেন, ফাদার মেন পড়েছেন, বাইরে পড়েছেন লেডিস পড়েছেন। বোঝা গেল?
ইয়েস স্যার।
বোঝা গেল হ্যাঁ কি না?
হ্যাঁ স্যার।
কোশ্চেন নাম্বার 8।
Sir, sir, some fathers are teacher বা politician, এটা বোঝাবেন কি করে হচ্ছে?
সাম ফাদার আর টিচার অর পড়েছেন।
হ্যাঁ,
তাদের মধ্যে এরা হলো টিচার বা পড়েছেন।
মেন তো হতে হবে, এটা লেখাই আছে ফাদারটা।
এই ফাদার টিচার, এই ফাদার পড়েছেন কিন্তু টিচার পড়েছেন, কম্প্যাক্ট হবে না। তাহলে হলো ফাদার টিচার, এটা হলো মেল নট ফাদার বা টিচার, এটা ফিমেল টিচার। এটা ফাদার মেল পড়েছেন, এটা মেল নট ফাদার পড়েছেন, এটা লেডিস পড়েছেন। ঢুকলো? ঢুকলো?
হ্যাঁ স্যার।
ক্লাসে আগে যারা ফাঁকি পেয়েছি তখন এখন তারা হারে হারে বুঝবি, মনে রেখে। Question number 8. পরীক্ষা দেওয়া ছিল চেঞ্জ করছি না, দেওয়া দিচ্ছি দেওয়া দিচ্ছি।
এটা কোশ্চেন কি?
হ্যাঁ বলছি বলছি। যেভাবে টিসিএস প্রিন্ট দিয়েছে আমি সেভাবে প্রিন্ট চেঞ্জ করে নি, চেঞ্জ করবো না। ফুটবল কি আমি থাকবো না? বসে বলছি from the above table the function fn is কোনটা?
স্যার বি ফর বোম্বে।
স্যার বি হবে, বি।
বোম্বে। তার মানে কি বলতো? টিসিএস উচিত ছিল ওটা দোয়া এইভাবে log 2 to the power a। তাহলে যদি এটা 2 এর জায়গায় এখানে 2 এর a, এটা 3 হয় তাহলে 8 হয়, 20 3 মানে 8। 5 এর করলে দেখ আসলে কি হয় দেখছি, 2 to the power 5, 2 to the power 3 এটা 3 আছে, 2 to the power 5 এটা 5 আছে, 2 to the power 7 এটা 7 আছে, 2 to the power 9 এটা 5 আর 12 আছে। তাহলে এটাই একমাত্র হতে পারে। লগারিদম থেকে দিয়েছি, লগারিদম উইথ ফাংশন। স্লট 2 না পরে কোশ্চেন। পরে কোশ্চেন, মেরি মেকার, খায় নামাকে জানি না, মেরি মেকার in her annual internet trend report, Mary Meeker in her annual internet trend report said, Mary Meeker, what? বুঝলাম না।
Sir, in her annual internet
trend report,